Hello and welcome back to a project update on Seaside Garage. Yeah, the first thing is this awesome sign that a good friend of mine, Jon, made to me, and I cannot get my hands down. It has been here for a while now, and I had tried to hide it when doing the videos, but I think some of you actually saw it already. But it's awesome. I'm so happy about it. It's made of wood, and the letters are beveled into the wood and painted, and I think it looks pretty cool. So this is the channel's new logo. In this video, I'm going over all the projects that I have got going on in the garage, and actually a couple of projects has left the garage. So we are going to take a look, or I'm going to talk about them. And then I cannot really say much about the future projects, but I have some coming up that is quite interesting, but it's not all certain yet, so I won't talk about them. But if it happens, it is going to be a very cool project. But let's see. Let's start with all the mopeds. At the moment, there's only 4 mopeds. It makes me a bit sad, but that is just how it is. I've sold a couple of the moped projects and some of the running mob mopeds as well. And at the moment, I think I'm going to keep these, but I'm not really sure. I don't need 4. I could actually do with only 2, but it's hard to decide which one to keep. And again, I really like the projects, so whenever they are finished, I probably will end up selling all of them except the Velo and buy another one, because that's the fun thing. We have the SCO moped that we fixed a while back. This one was one of the mopeds that actually attended the moped trip a while back. It did brilliant. It lost the chain twice because it wasn't set up proper, but it is now. It works perfectly. And the only thing I really need to do to this, well, I could do a lot actually, but I like the look of this, so this part of the bike is finished. But I need to fix the chain guards, and the problem with those are that they are cracked off, so I'm gonna weld them up at some point and reattach them. But other than that, it's just a nice moped. I myself are not riding this moped a lot, but when we go to trips, I can lend it to my friends who don't have a moped yet. So that's a good thing. And it's really cool, so I'm going to keep this one for a while, especially because it's Danish and it's from my hometown. So yeah, that's cool. Here we have the Velo. I haven't done anything to the Velo since we did the barrel change. Oh no, that's not right. I actually made a bonfire and throw the exhaust on it, because that can clean the inside of it. It was a bit restrictive. So now it goes pretty good. Not as fast as I actually had hoped when installing the barrel kit, but it's pretty good. I am considering trying to get a bigger jet. At the moment it's a 29, which is a bit bigger than normal, but I think it could go to 30, maybe 31. Another option would be to get a adjustable nozzle. That would be really cool. But let's see. Here we have the blue monster, the Monark Compact Crescent with a Sachs engine. I have actually not made the last video in this build series or project series yet, because it is actually working now. But I'm gonna make a video about what I did to get it running. It's not running perfect, but it's running and it's pretty nice. I think we're going to have to change all the braking pads or shoes in it, because they don't seem to work, but I haven't looked into it yet. But it's a cool moped. I am considering selling it though, because it's worth a lot of money, apparently. So because of that, I could end up selling it to get some money for other projects. But let's see, it's a cool bike. And this is, well, all of them are mine, but this is the bike I drive when we go on trips. And yeah, we actually only went on one trip so far, but it was so much fun. I think we ended up driving around 100 kilometers. I think we was 7 or 8 people attending. It took almost 2 days to of course we slept as well, but 2 days to cover 100 kilometers, because we had so many stops. primarily because of breakdowns, which was to be expected. We all drove some pretty crappy stuff. This one did not break down at all, actually. The SCO broke down twice because of the chain. One of my friends drove a Velo Solex that actually didn't work when we started the trip, but we got it running in the shop before going. And then later on, it was so extremely slow that we tried to clean the carb on the go. And I tried, and it was my mistake. It was an embarrassing mistake, but what I did was you can actually use the vacuum of the running engine to unclog it by revving it and put your finger over the intake for a short while. That way you can suck debris out of the carb. And I tried to do that, and I removed the air corrector screw, I think it's called. And when I tried to put that one back in, I actually dropped it into the intake of the carb, and it went straight through the intake into the engine block and into the piston and everything, and got squashed in a million pieces inside of that. It was brass, so it was pretty soft, but it, of course, got completely destroyed. So we actually I had to drive back home. We were only 10 kilometers from the garage at that point, but I drove back home, picked up a new barrel and a new piston and some other stuff, and then went back to the others, and we took the entire engine apart right there on the parking spot, cleaned it out, got all of the brass stuff out of the engine. Of course, the bearing is going to need some attention in the future, but it was okay. So we put it all back together, and then it actually drove pretty well. But yeah, that was a big mistake, and it was quite a big project, especially on a parking lot in the rain. But that was just how it is. Other than that, we have the Moped Caddy that I had on the channel a while back was also on the trip. That broke down quite a lot because of debris in the tank. The carb just clogged up from time to time, but we got it running every time. Yeah, other than that, one of my friends brought a Yamaha Sting. There were no problems with that. That's a pretty nice moped, in my opinion. And of course, the Puch Maxi also attended and completed without any problems at all. I think that's not true because it ran out of fuel, but that was the only thing. So, but as you can see, the Moped project that I have, the orange one, is no longer here. I sold that one. And also I sold one Velo that I had. And I have also sold the Puch Maxi because I think it was a bit too boring for my taste, also because I don't need so many mopeds, and it was actually worth some money, so I choose to sell it because that made room to buy the blue one, for instance. So yeah, but these are the moped projects at the moment. I'm pretty sure more will come because I seem to not be able to not buy mopeds if they are cheap and close by, so we'll see. Over there in the corner is the one-stroke or two-stroke, one-cylinder Danish inboard engine for a boat. And actually, I was looking forward to do that project, but it needed a magneto and it needed a carb and some other stuff, which actually would end up being quite expensive to get because I don't need this engine. Actually, I don't even have a boat. So I actually opted to sell this one, and this is leaving the garage very soon. So this is the 2 CV. It's running great. I've actually been driving it quite a lot lately. I am considering selling this car or swapping it for something else, only because I really like to try different stuff, because I really like this car. I'm quite limited in terms of space, storage space, and of course money. It's expensive to have a car. It's expensive to buy cars, of course, and it's very expensive to have number plates on them and have them covered, insured and all that. So I will have to choose. So maybe it is going to leave the channel, who knows. I would really like to try a Trabant, for instance, or maybe a Fiat 126 or something similar. I would like to try different stuff. So maybe it's going to leave, maybe not. I don't know. The Volvo 240 Estate is doing great, and this one is going nowhere. I really like this car, and we have so much fun in it. It's a driving tent, and it's so much fun, and it really runs great. I'm quite surprised at how quick this car actually is, considering it's huge, it's old, it's carbureted, it's automatic gear, and it's a 2.3 engine. So it's not the biggest in the world, but still, it just drives so well. Nothing is really wrong with it. Well, that's not true. A lot is wrong with this car, but not a lot needs attention at the moment, at least. The windscreen, unfortunately, has gotten a quite big crack, and I think we're going to have to change the windscreen at some point, but yeah, I'm gonna make a video about that if I do. But other than that, it is just running. I would like a turbo version though. This is the Mercedes-Benz. This is not mine, it's a family member's. And we fixed the exhaust a while back. And we also found a leak in the coolant system on this car. So the next video, I think I'm going to make a video on it at least, will be to change the radiator on this car. And then it's going back to its owner, unfortunately, because this is a cool car. And it's a manual, it's a petrol, it's rare, and yeah, it's cool. The Renault 5 GT Turbo. This car is now actually running great, in my opinion. It still got a lot of things that needs to be sorted. The window in this side doesn't go down, for instance. And there's a lot of other stuff. The radio doesn't work, but in general, it drives and runs pretty well, I think. Actually, extremely well. It's a fun car to drive, and I have been driving it quite a lot. I had a little scare a while back because I thought that the oil pressure rose a bit slow. When I start the car first time in the morning, the oil light will stay on for up to 3 seconds from time to time if I don't rev it at least, and I didn't really like that. I have now checked everything with an external oil pressure gauge, and everything checks out to be completely normal. So I don't think anything is wrong. Normally you would like to see the oil light go out instantly when the engine fires. It could be down to a gauge fault, but I don't know. Other than that, it runs so extremely well. I really like it. So this will be all for this project update, and I would just like to say thank you, because my channel has reached 700 subscribers now, and I never thought that would even be possible. I hope you would continue watching my channel, and I hope many others will come and join. I'm really happy about it. I really am. So thank you. There is many more projects to come. I would actually like to tell you what the next one is, but because it's not completely sure that it will happen, I will not do it. But it's a really cool car, and it's actually one of my old cars. not the model only, but the exact same car. So that's a lot of fun. But let's see if it happens. Yeah, see you in the next one.